Hi everyone, today's build video is my build for the Diecast Mafia's Corvette challenge. For this I'm going to be using this Hot Wheels 1956 Corvette, which is the recolor of the Barbie version since it's got the 4 seats. Unlike the real life version, which is a 2-seater, so I think the proportions on this car might be a little off, but it's sadly the only Corvette I had in my stash, so this is what I'm using. So after dismantling the casting, I learned from past mistakes of roughing up the body after I've glued a load of parts to it and risk damaging those. So I'm going to take a nail file and rough up the body now and then add all the bits to it afterwards. This is the finished results of me roughing up the body. Next I add this engine piece, which if I remember correctly is from a Zuru Metal Machines Buffalo pickup truck casting that I took apart and then turned into a piece of scenery. For a defensive weapon, I decided to add this mine layer from the North Star military figures implements of carnage sprue. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite fit between the split rear bumper, so I trim it down a bit and then attach it with some super glue. Off camera, I didn't really like the way it stuck out too much and wanted it to recede into the body a bit more, so I took a file and then filed down the trunk area. The idea being as the mines feed in from the trunk. Still not happy with the way this looked. I decided to make some panels that went around the mine layer to make it look like it was feeding in from the trunk. I use a piece of scrap styrene from my scraps box to make the panels. Which were too big by design so that I could trim them down around the mine layer. And as you can see, here's the finished results. Moving around to the front, I take these bumpers from a Majorette Dodge Charger and then just build a beefy front bumper. Next I plan to switch the wheels, but first I need to make a new axle, so I use a paper clip. For the wheels I'm using these Anvil Industry wheels. After a quick test fit to make sure the axle lengths don't need to be adjusted, I glue the wheels onto the axles off camera. the front wheels, I'm using these Anvil Industries Gaslands standard wheels, 10.5mm wheels with plates. And for the rear wheels, I'm using Gaslands Sport wheels, 10.5mm with blades. Moving on to the crew, I use this 1/72nd scale Italian World War II driver by 3D Jasons. Quick test fit shows he's not going to fit, so off with his legs like usual. He still doesn't fit, so I cut out a section of the seat too. And now he fits perfectly, so I can glue him into place. Also decided to give him these Kemsel Designs Molotovs, just to give it a bit more detail in the interior. Next I decided to add this Kemsel Designs machine gun. So first I'm going to make a weapon mount using this piece of styrene tube. And then drill into the gun using my hobby knife since I don't have any drill pieces small enough for what I need. I also add this piece of styrene rod, and then realise I've drilled into the top of the gun and mounted it upside down, so I'm going to go and fix that off camera. With the gun fixed, I attach another World War II Italian crewman to the gun. And here we are with the completed build before paint. I've added a few rivets to the mine layer just to give it a bit more detail, and then just done a few tweaks here and there just to make sure everything lines up and fits correctly. Such as removing the studs from the anvil wheels. These are really good detailed wheels, but unfortunately there's studs on the bottom and they catch on the wheel arches on the inside. So if you're going to make a roller, I suggest cutting off the studs. If you're just going to make a static piece, they'll work perfectly fine for that. Now on to painting. I decided to keep the original paint for this casting, so instead I decided to paint the dents using some Revell Aquacolor Rust, followed by a stippling of Revell Aquacolor Light Green, which is a close match to the actual body colour. The idea is to make this look like these dented panels have rusted when the metal's gotten exposed and the paint's chipped away. Then go over the top of this with a dry brushing of Revell Aluminium or Steel, as well as doing this for the exposed metal parts such as the bumpers and the engine and the mine layer, before painting the crew and all the other little details off camera, and then applying a black wash to blend everything together and give the car a nice dirty wasteland look. Here's the final build. I kept this build simple, it being one of the first few of the year, and I want to ease back into things. For this build I was mostly just trying out the Anvil Industry wheels, which, like I've said before about the studs, work perfectly and they're very detailed. I do wish I could have put some bigger wheels, especially on the back. The wheel arches on this particular casting are very small, and I would have had to rebuild a whole axle and stuff, and I just didn't want to add that complexity to the build. I had a few things going on at the time. Overall, I think this was a fun build. Please be sure to check out some of the other people who've taken part in this challenge by searching Diecast Mafia Corvette Challenge. These challenges are open to anyone and are hosted by BJ Customs and Mad Eye Miniatures. As usual, stick around for the glamour shots and the short animation of this car. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.